Welcome back, everyone. Today we're taking a deep dive into,
18th century theater.
exactly. We're going to be cracking open a 1739 printed edition of The Black Prince.
What tragedy by...
Yeah, by Roger Boyle, the Earl of Orrery.
Now, when we say the Earl of Orrery, some of you might be thinking,
Who?
yeah, who is this guy?
But stick with us on this one.
Because
This is really interesting, I think.
Oh, this is a fascinating deep dive.
It is. It gives us a look into...
It does.
It gives us a look into...
Restoration, England.
And the mind of a playwright who was really
Oh, yeah.
a key player in the culture at the time.
Absolutely. And what's really intriguing about this play is that it sits at this intersection of art, history, and politics.
Oh, totally.
Roger Boyle, the Earl of Orrery, wasn't just a playwright.
Right.
He was a soldier, a statesman, a prominent figure in the court of King Charles II.
I mean, he was like a triple threat.
He really was. He was instrumental in reviving theater after the Puritan ban.
Oh, that's right.
So his works, including The Black Prince, weren't just entertainment.
They were
statements.
Yeah, like pieces of propaganda almost.
Could even say that, yeah. They were definitely meant to convey a message.
So, like, we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at a really pivotal moment in history with it.
You are.
Yeah. What can you tell us about this period,
I
this
don't-
Restoration England you mentioned?
Well, imagine...
I'm picturing, like, powdered wigs.
Yes, lots of powdered wigs.
Yeah.
And really fancy clothes.
Yeah.
But also, imagine a society emerging from a period of intense social and political upheaval.
Like they're just getting over some stuff.
Exactly. The monarchy has been restored,
Okay.
the theaters are reopening.
Exciting times.
Yeah, and there's this explosion of creativity and artistic expression.
So things are really
Things are bubbling.
bubbling, yeah.
It's a time of great change and also a time of anxiety as people grapple with the after effects of the English Civil War and try to navigate this new world.
Like after any big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of like, what do we do now?
Yeah, exactly.
Figuring things out.
And Roger Boyle is right in the thick of it,
He is.
using his plays to comment on what's going on.
Absolutely.
Maybe even influence the course of events.
Possibly. And in The Black Prince, he chooses to focus on a legendary figure.
Okay.
Edward, the Prince of Wales, known as the Black Prince for his military prowess, especially his victory at the Battle of Poitiers.
So he's like a war hero.
He is. He's a celebrated figure.
Yeah.
But Boyle doesn't just rehash history.
Right.
He blends fact and fiction, adding layers of romance, political intrigue, and personal drama.
Okay, so he's kind of spicing things up.
He is. He's using the familiar story of the Black Prince to explore themes that are relevant to his audience.
Okay, like what kinds of things?
Themes like duty, ambition, and the conflict between personal desire and societal expectations.
It's like he's holding up a mirror to his society,
Exactly.
using the past to comment on the present.
That's a great way to put it. So let's take a closer look at the play itself.
Yeah, let's open it up.
Crack it open. What stands out when you first look at this 1739 edition?
Well, first of all, it's old.
It's very old.
It smells old, it feels old.
You can practically feel the history.
Yeah.
But one of the first things you notice, besides the physical age of the book,
Yeah.
is the language.
Okay.
It's heightened and poetic,
Okay.
with a formality that reflects the aristocratic culture of the time.
Fancy.
Very fancy, but there's also a surprising amount of wit and wordplay,
Oh, really?
especially in the exchanges between the characters.
Okay.
Boyle clearly knows how to entertain his audience while also conveying deeper meanings.
That's talent. To be able to make people laugh and think at the same time.
Absolutely, it's a delicate balance.
It is.
And he does it masterfully.
So I'm curious about those deeper meanings you mentioned.
Yeah.
What kind of themes is Boyle exploring in The Black Prince?
Well, at the heart of the play is this tension between love and duty.
Okay.
The prince is deeply in love with Plantagenet,
Okay.
but she's married to the Earl of Kent. And the king, Edward III, has his own ambitions for his son.
So it's a love triangle.
It is a very complicated love
And
triangle.
with the king involved, that's...
Oh, that adds a whole other level of
Yeah.
intrigue and complexity.
So you have this whole web of relationships
A tangled web.
and conflicting loyalties.
Right.
Everyone's having to make these
Mhm.
choices
Exactly.
that pit their personal desires against their obligations to their family, their country, their king.
It's a classic struggle.
So it's a classic love triangle set against a backdrop of political intrigue
Yes.
and historical events.
Absolutely. It's a recipe for drama.
Definitely. Is there anything in the text itself that jumps out as particularly
Oh, there are a few things
Yeah.
that might surprise modern readers.
Okay.
For instance, there's a scene where Alicia, one of the key female characters,
Okay.
is feigning sleep.
Right.
The stage direction simply says, Alicia feigns slumber.
Okay.
It's subtle,
Mm-hmm.
but it speaks volumes about the theatrical conventions of the time.
So, like, they didn't have to hit you over the head with it.
Exactly. The audience is expected to understand that she's not really asleep.
Right.
And this adds a layer of dramatic irony to the scene.
I see. Like, we're in on the secret.
We are. It's like a wink to the audience.
I like that.
A shared understanding of the unspoken subtext.
And that's so different from
Completely different.
how we experience theater today.
Absolutely. Back then, there was a lot more reliance on subtle gestures and unspoken meanings.
It's a lot more in your face now.
It is, and it's a reminder that even though the play is set in the past, it's also a product of its time,
Right.
reflecting the social and artistic norms of 18th century England.
Absolutely. And speaking of those norms, there was something else that stood out to me.
Okay.
It's the play's dedication to King George II.
Yes. That's a very important detail.
It's not just a polite gesture.
It's not.
It's a political statement.
Absolutely. Remember, this is the era of patronage. Playwrights, like Boyle, relied on the support of wealthy and powerful individuals.
Gotcha.
By dedicating his play to the king, Boyle is not only seeking favor, but also aligning himself with the monarch and implicitly endorsing his reign.
So he's kind of playing the game a little bit.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah.
He's navigating this delicate balance between artistic expression and political maneuvering.
It's like walking a tightrope.
It is, and that interplay between art and power
Yeah.
is one of the things that makes The Black Prince so fascinating.
Yeah, it's like this historical puzzle.
It is.
Yeah, and each piece we look at reveals a little more.
Exactly. About the playwright, the play, and the world it reflects.
And one of those pieces is the historical context itself.
Oh, absolutely.
The play mentions these real events,
It does.
like the Battle of Poitiers and
Yeah.
the Black Prince's capture of King John of France.
Right, and those historical events aren't just background noise.
Okay.
They're woven into the fabric of the play,
Okay.
shaping the character's actions and motivations. For example, the prince's military victories, which are celebrated in the play, also contribute to his sense of duty and his belief that he must always put the needs of the kingdom above his own desires.
So it's like history is another character in the play.
You could say that.
It's influencing everything.
It's shaping the plot, the characters, the themes.
Yeah, it's like a silent force.
And for you, the listener, this is an invitation to delve deeper.
Oh, I like that.
Explore the historical accounts of the Battle of Poitiers, the capture of King John of France, and the reign of Edward III.
So we can get even more out of this.
Exactly. See how those historical events are reflected in the play, and how Boyle uses them to create a compelling and multi-layered drama.
Awesome. It's like we're getting a 2-for-1 deal here. A deep dive into 18th century theater and a glimpse into a fascinating period of history.
It's a history and literature lover's dream.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
We're just starting to unravel the secrets of the Black Prince.
And there's so much more to discover.
I'm ready to dive deeper.
Let's do it.
So what can you tell us about the key relationships in the play?
Okay, well,
Let's start with this tangled web of love and duty surrounding the prince and Plantagenet.
to really understand their relationship,
Yeah.
we need to look at how Boyle portrays love in the play.
Okay.
It's not just a matter of personal feelings.
Yeah.
It's a powerful force that can drive characters to make rash decisions, defy social conventions,
Oh, wow.
and even challenge authority.
So love is like a weapon.
It can be a catalyst for both good and bad.
And in the case of the prince,
Yes.
his love for Plantagenet is his greatest strength,
And
his greatest weakness.
exactly. It inspires him to acts of heroism on the battlefield, but it also blinds him to the political realities and social expectations that surround him.
It's like love is clouding his judgment.
It is. He's so focused on winning Plantagenet's heart that he loses sight of the bigger picture.
What about Plantagenet?
Well,
How does she feel?
She's in a tough spot.
yeah.
She's drawn to the prince's passion and his heroic stature. I mean, who wouldn't be?
Right. But she's also aware of her duty to her husband
Oh, right. She's married.
and the social consequences of pursuing a forbidden love.
She's navigating a minefield.
She is. It's like she's torn between her heart and her head.
And that inner conflict.
Yes.
It comes out in how she talks.
It does. Her language is often hesitant and filled with double meanings.
She's trying to be careful.
She is. She wants to express her feelings for the prince, but is also afraid of the repercussions.
It's like she's speaking in code.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, trying to say what she feels without
rocking the boat?
Yeah, without getting in trouble.
Exactly. She's walking a very fine line.
And to make this whole thing even more complicated,
Oh, yes.
we have to bring in another key player,
We do.
Delaware, the
Denon,
prince's confidant.
his closest friend. And as we'll soon discover, he harbors a secret that could change everything.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
This secret adds a whole other layer to this already complicated situation.
What is Delaware hiding? And how does this secret impact the love triangle and the play's overall dynamics?
That's where things get even more interesting and where we'll pick up in our next installment.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Stay tuned, folks. It's about to get juicy.
Buckle up, everyone.
This deep dive is just getting started.
Okay, so we're back, and we left off with a bit of a cliffhanger
We did.
about Delaware.
Yes. Delaware, the prince's confidant.
He's hiding a secret.
He is. That could
Yeah, potentially change everything.
change everything. Yeah, so tell me, what is it? What's the big secret?
Well, his secret is that he's also in love with Plantagenet.
Oh, no. So he's watching his best friend
Yes.
prying after her.
Probably after the woman he loves.
Oh, man. Talk about a tough spot.
Yeah, that's got to be hard to watch.
That's so relatable, though.
It is.
It's like we've all
been there.
been in that situation where you have to be happy for your friend,
Yeah.
but you're secretly...
Secretly heartbroken.
Yeah, and it's a testament to Delaware's character
Yeah.
that he doesn't succumb to jealousy or bitterness.
Right.
Instead, he kind of wrestles with his emotions,
Yeah.
trying to reconcile his personal feelings with his duty to his friend and his king.
He's trying to do the right
It
thing.
is.
Yeah.
He's trying to be noble.
Which is really hard.
Oh, it's incredibly difficult.
Your heart's breaking.
Especially in matters of the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Boyle doesn't shy away from those messy realities of human emotion.
No.
Delaware is not a perfect hero.
Yeah.
He's a flawed individual.
Well, that's more interesting anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
To read about a flawed character.
Yeah, it's more relatable.
So the prince, not knowing about Delaware's feelings,
Right.
asks Delaware to help him win Plantagenet.
Yes, he does.
Oh, poor Delaware.
I know. He puts Delaware in such a difficult position.
I mean, how is he supposed to advocate for his friend's love
I know.
when it's the thing that's causing him pain?
It's a classic dilemma.
It is.
Duty versus desire.
Does he betray his friend or...
Or sacrifice his own happiness.
Yeah, so what does he do?
He chooses the path of duty.
Oh.
But it's a decision fraught with anguish. There's a line where he says,
Okay.
"Some fatal planet at my birth did reign, since all things which should cure augment my pain."
Wow. He knows he's just setting himself up for more suffering.
He does.
Yeah, but he can't bring himself to betray the prince.
Exactly. That line is so powerful,
It is.
so full of despair.
It makes me wonder about fate in this play.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like, are these characters just victims of circumstance? Or can they actually control their destinies?
That's a great question.
Yeah?
And it's something that Boyle explores throughout the play.
Okay.
The characters talk about fate and destiny,
Mhm.
but they also make choices
Right.
that have consequences.
So it's not just black and white.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's more nuanced.
Yeah. So like we were saying before about the king,
Yes.
he's more than just.
More than just a fear of authority.
Right. Like he's a father.
He's a father.
His own
desires and vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's a complex character.
And this all gets really interesting.
It does, because the king develops feelings for Plantagenet.
Wait a minute. The king
Yes, the king.
has feelings for the woman that his son
Yes.
is in love with.
This is where things get really complicated.
And that Delaware is in love with?
And Delaware's in love with. The plot thickens.
Oh my gosh, this is getting good.
It is.
So what happens? How does the prince react when he finds out about his father's feelings for Plantagenet?
He's devastated.
Yeah.
But he also shows remarkable restraint.
Okay.
He doesn't lash out.
Oh, that's good.
He doesn't accuse his father of betrayal.
Oh, yeah.
Instead, he tries to reason with him,
Oh,
appealing to a sense of justice and compassion.
that's a bold move.
It is.
To question a king.
Especially when that king is your father.
Yeah, especially when it's your dad.
It's a risky strategy.
Yeah.
But it speaks to the prince's unwavering belief in love
Yeah.
and his willingness to fight for what he believes in,
Even if it means going up against his dad.
even if it means challenging the most powerful man in the kingdom.
And let's not forget
Right.
that this is all happening
Yes.
during the 100 Years' War.
Absolutely. The play is not just a self-contained romantic drama.
Right.
It's interwoven with the political realities of the time.
The war is like another character.
Exactly. It's shaping the character's actions and motivations.
So this one scene that I thought was really interesting
Okay.
was when Alicia confronts Plantagenet.
Oh, yes. That's a powerful scene.
Yeah, and accuses her of,
Stealing the king's affections.
yeah, how does Plantagenet respond to that?
Well, she doesn't deny the accusations
Oh.
or try to justify her actions.
Okay.
Instead, she expresses remorse
Oh,
and tries to offer Alicia comfort and understanding.
that's surprising.
It is
I would have expected her to
defensive,
be. Yeah, or like,
angry,
yeah, angry.
but she shows compassion and empathy.
Wow, she's a better person than I am.
Well, it speaks to her character,
Yeah.
her innate kindness,
Mhm.
and her ability to see beyond her own desires
Right.
and understand the pain she's caused others.
So they're not just
Yeah.
like one-dimensional characters.
They're complex individuals,
Yeah.
wrestling with real emotions and moral dilemmas.
I like that.
And this depth is further revealed as the play progresses,
Okay.
as secrets are unveiled.
Uh-oh. More secrets.
Oh yes, there are more secrets to come.
Okay, and how do these secrets impact the rest of the play?
Well, that's where things take a dramatic turn,
Ooh.
and where we'll delve deeper in our next segment.
Okay, so we're back. And things are really heating up in The Black Prince.
Oh yeah, the stakes are higher than ever.
Yeah, we've got this love triangle, a war raging,
Yeah.
and all these secrets coming out.
Right, and remember we left off with the king totally infatuated with Plantagenet.
Yeah, his son's love.
Exactly, creating this huge rift between them.
Right, and this is where I think the historical context of the play really
Absolutely.
comes into play.
Yeah.
Because it's the 100 Years' War, and King John of France
Yes,
is a prisoner.
of the English crown,
Yeah.
and King Edward III,
The king?
yes, sees an opportunity here
Uh-oh. To what? To take advantage?
to consolidate his power,
Okay,
but he makes a really shocking decision,
okay.
driven by, I think, jealousy
Okay.
and political maneuvering.
Okay, what does he do?
He imprisons his own son, the Black Prince, accusing him of conspiring with King John against him.
Whoa, so he's eliminating his rivals,
Yes,
both romantic and political.
in one fell swoop.
But wait, is there any truth to these accusations?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Boyle keeps us guessing.
Oh, he's good.
On the surface, it seems like the king is acting out of paranoia and jealousy, but there are hints
Oh,
that perhaps the prince, in his desperation to win Plantagenet,
yeah.
might have considered making a deal with the enemy.
Oh, so the prince isn't so innocent after all?
Well, it's not entirely clear,
Okay.
but it's a possibility that Boyle presents.
So it's like a Shakespearean drama almost.
It is.
With these big, huge...
Ambitions and love just colliding.
Yeah, so what about Plantagenet?
Well, she's caught in the crossfire.
Yeah?
She pleads with the king for mercy, arguing that love can't be commanded or controlled.
She's standing up to the king.
She is. It's a really powerful moment.
Yeah, but is it enough? Does the king listen?
We'll have to see, but this is where Delaware comes back into the picture.
Okay. Yeah, he's been pretty quiet.
He has, but realizing the gravity of the situation, he decides to reveal his secret.
The secret.
Yes, the truth about Plantagenet's marriage to the Earl of Kent.
Remind me.
Okay, so before Kent died,
Yeah.
he confessed to Delaware that he had tricked Plantagenet into marrying him.
Oh, wow.
He used forged letters and manipulated her into believing that the prince had abandoned her.
So her whole marriage.
It was a lie.
Oh my.
It changes everything.
It does. So does this information get to the king?
It does, through Delaware's sister, Clearin,
Oh, okay.
who's a close friend of Plantagenet.
Gotcha. So how does he react?
His reaction is a mix of anger,
I bet.
regret, and kind of a grudging acceptance.
So does he change his mind
He does.
about imprisoning his son?
He does.
Okay.
He releases the prince, apologizes for his actions, and even acknowledges his son's love for Plantagenet.
That's big of him.
It is. It shows growth.
It does. It shows that he's not just this, like,
Tyrant.
Yeah.
Power hungry.
he's capable of change
Yeah.
and growth.
So what about King John?
Well, King John has been watching all of this unfold from his prison cell.
Right.
And he develops this newfound respect for the English court.
Really?
He sees the prince's love for Plantagenet, the king's willingness to admit his mistakes,
Yeah.
and even Delaware's selfless sacrifice.
Okay.
And it humanizes his enemies.
Yeah, because up until this point,
Right.
it's just been like us versus them. Exactly, but now he sees them as people.
So this leads to...
A peaceful resolution.
Oh.
The king releases King John and negotiates a truce.
So it's a happy ending.
It is, in a way.
Yeah, for most of the characters anyway.
What about Delaware?
Yeah, what about him?
He doesn't get the girl.
Right, he stepped aside so his friend could be happy.
Exactly.
Does he find any happiness?
He does find a certain sense of peace,
Okay.
knowing that he played a part in bringing the prince and Plantagenet together.
I mean, that's gotta be...
It's bittersweet,
Yeah, bittersweet.
but it's also a testament to his character.
It is.
He's a truly noble figure.
So I think what I take away from this whole deep dive
Yeah.
is that even a play written centuries ago
Yeah.
can still offer insights into the human condition.
Absolutely. The themes of love, duty, ambition,
Yeah, they're still relevant today.
they are timeless and universal.
Absolutely. So thank you for joining us on this deep dive
It's been a pleasure.
into The Black Prince.
I hope you enjoyed exploring this world of 18th century theater with us.
And we'll see you next time
For another deep dive.
into another fascinating piece of history.